Part 2 of my tips for world. Building a culture, still talking. About the stuff I add to a country. Sheet to fill out what are at least 2 major holidays for this country. What started these holidays? How do you celebrate it? And what time of year does it take place? Think common decorations for it, stories behind it, common traditions, its significance to the country. If you want, you can add how it's influenced by Hitlism, but that's not a requirement. Reminder that everything you world build doesn't have to be explored in your story. It's just nice to have in your bag of tricks. Another thing you should be able to answer when putting together the skeleton of your culture is 2 to 3 basic laws that you can kind of build the rest of the laws off of later. For example, in my VIP substances, country of Mubia, the common sentence for abuse, which plays into the male beauty standard. Oddly enough, is for the abuser. To be dragged into the center of their community and all the men of that community beat the crap out of them, with guards and healers present to ensure that they don't die. This sentence by law is the minimum sentence for abuse of one's spouse or kids. Mubia, courts count physical, mental, verbal, financial, sexual, and spiritual abuse as the crimes listed under what's required. To receive this sentence, a more recent law in their country is it's against the law for a noita. Lock their heart. You see, a noita have the ability to see who their soulmate is, and using a special technique, they can turn this ability off. The problem is if they choose to turn the ability back on, they run the risk of getting mad love disease, which is where they temporarily go absolutely insane and basically become an obsessed psychopathic yanter over their soulmate. It's temporary, but the symptoms may include extreme salivating, extremely dilated pupils, heart palpitations, random fits of laughter, extreme anxiety, chest pains, unpredictable, mood swings, dulled life preservation, skills, violent outbursts, seizures, and lapses in judgment. This disease is not contagious. And again, it is temporary. On extreme cases, it lasts for about a week and 3 days, on average. It lasts 5 days to a week, but it did cause mass kidnappings and even some deaths. So the technique was banned, and special centers were opened in densely populated areas too. Contain those who got the disease, which is preventable by not using. The technique to lock them unlock your heart. But not everyone who used this technique got the disease. It affects 1 out of 5 people who use it. So it was still outlawed, and you will face up to 3 months in jail and a hefty fine if you're caught using it. Another thing that you should be able to answer is, what is something important that indicates someone is a member of the royal family? If your country doesn't have one, just replace royalties with the ranks in your world example, being that in Mubia, it's outlawed for anyone other than the queen to wear a red cropped top and long skirt. This is to set the queen apart from everyone else. The heir to the throne, whether they are a prince or princess, will also wear a cropped top, but only during official public events. But kings don't wear crop tops. Princes, while in doing these public events, wear blue, while princesses wear black. This is because the color black in Mubia represents innocence and is considered very feminine. almost as feminine as pink. Males wear blue because it represents the sky, and it was a difficult color paint. An official art back in ancient Nubia. This leads perfectly into the next thing I like to include: what type of art dominates your country's culture, and what techniques do they use? Sculpting, painting, textiles. Do they turn their art into hair, wood carving? In Mubia, in ancient times, they used crushed snail shells to make their paints, so some colors were more difficult to capture. So while they did paint a lot, it often had a cohesive, very faint brown tint to it. This also made the Mubia people keep snail gardens, giant green, houses full of large snails they bred. For size and pale shells, they didn't kill the snails. Snails live short lives. It was frowned upon to prematurely end. Them, when waiting for their life to come to a natural end, was more beneficial. It was a superstition that if a snail felt betrayed before death, the artwork made from its shell would fade faster. This superstition was made by the same king who passed the law, saying abusers got the crap beat out of them because he kept snails as pets and he didn't like the idea of them being killed for their shells. Lastly, on the country sheet, aka the skeleton of your world building, what foods are eaten at what time. Like in America, cereal is a breakfast. Food, sandwiches are lunch, and meat. Loaf is dinner. What foods would your country have available, and at what meal would they eat them? You can add more to your country sheet. These and part 1 are just the basics that I put down when creating the culture. Next, we will make the muscles of your culture. Now, when making your country sheet, keep your answers simple. You can expand on it later, but it's very important that starting off with only the skeleton, you keep it simple. That's all for now. Catherine out.